Welcome back to Myth Detective. He is the face of death in ancient Egypt, the first god you meet on the final journey. The jackal-headed god, the silent ruler of the tomb. A dark figure lurking in the shadows of the pyramids. For millennia, the image of Anubis has been synonymous with the grim and terrifying aspects of the afterlife. We see him as an omen of the end, a dark judge in a world of sand and sorrow. The final face a soul sees before oblivion. But what if this image, so deeply ingrained in our culture, is a complete misunderstanding, a character assassination lasting 4,000 years? What if the god we associate with horror was actually a compassionate guardian, a protector of the lost, and the ultimate champion of justice for the dead? Today, we open the case file to exonerate Anubis, peeling back layers of modern fear to find the truth about the most misunderstood god in the Egyptian pantheon. A god not of death, but of the dead. The accusation against Anubis is built on our primal fear of death. His very image, a man with the head of a black jackal, is unsettling. Jackals in ancient Egypt were liminal creatures of the dusk, often seen prowling the edges of cemeteries on the western bank of the Nile, the land of the setting sun and the dead. Their eerie cries in the night became the soundtrack of the graveyard. Pop culture has amplified this fear, relentlessly portraying him as a sinister lord of mummified monsters and cursed tombs, a malevolent force who brings death. This narrative casts him as the Egyptian Grim Reaper, a being to be feared. But this accusation makes a critical error. It confuses the guardian of the dead with the cause of death itself. It mistakes the solemn doctor for the disease. The evidence in the ancient texts paints a very different picture, not of a monster to be feared, but of a sacred protector to be revered by all who face the final journey into the great unknown. The first piece of evidence to exonerate Anubis is his most sacred role, the god of embalming and mummification. This was not a morbid job. It was an act of profound care and divine science. The Egyptians believed the body was the anchor for the soul in the afterlife. Anubis's greatest act is detailed in the Osiris myth. After the good king Osiris was murdered and dismembered by his brother Set, it was Anubis, his devoted nephew, who lovingly gathered the pieces with Isis. He then performed the very first mummification, a meticulous 70-day ritual he invented, using natron salts to preserve the flesh and wrapping the body in hundreds of yards of linen inscribed with magic spells. He didn't cause death. He defied its finality by protecting the dead from decay. He taught this sacred art to humanity, ensuring everyone, not just kings, had a chance at eternity. He was a restorer, a priest, and the compassionate scientist of the soul. a divine physician for the dead. His other roles are just as benevolent. Anubis was a psychopomp, a guide of souls. The Egyptian underworld, the Duat, was a treacherous realm filled with fiery lakes, gates guarded by demons and monstrous serpents. According to the Book of the Dead, Anubis would take the hand of the deceased and personally navigate them through these dangers, acting as a protector on their journey to the final judgment. He was a celestial bodyguard for the lost, and at that judgment, the weighing of the heart, he was not the executioner. He was the guardian of the scales. In the Hall of Two Truths, he ensured the trial was fair. He placed the heart of the deceased on one scale, and the feather of Mat, goddess of truth, on the other. He ensured the scales were accurate, while Thoth recorded the result. If the heart was heavy with sin, the soul faced oblivion, devoured by the monster Ammit. Anubis didn't pass the sentence. He was the ultimate arbiter of justice, ensuring the soul's one chance at paradise was fair and uncorrupted. The evidence is clear. The underworld was not hell, and Anubis was not its devil. He is not the god of death, but the god of the process of death. He is the guardian of the sacred threshold between life and the afterlife, a compassionate gatekeeper. His roles: Embalmer, who preserves our form; Guide, who protects our soul; an arbiter who ensures our justice were not ones of malevolence, but of a fierce, sacred duty to care for the dead. The pop culture image of a villain is a modern invention, a distortion of a far more comforting truth. The Anubis of the myths was a noble, necessary, and even benevolent god, ensuring that every soul, no matter their station in life, received a fair and dignified final journey. He was the god of good endings. So, does knowing his true roles change how you see the Jackal God? Let us know your verdict